All right, so it is Sunday. I am back on the charts. It was it was a very interesting weekend. Um, and part of my checklist when it comes to trading is not only do I have to be, you know, present physically, gotta be present mentally, spiritually, and I don't feel present spiritually. It's Sunday. I should have gone to church today, but I did not. Well, I like to listen on like on YouTube because like a lot of the churches will stream. So I like to listen on YouTube because then I don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to be in those awkward situations where you're sitting next to somebody and then the pastor's like, okay, everybody, now, turn to the person next to you or whatever. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. I would rather not. Um, and so yeah, I just, I should have gone today, but I didn't. I just was just not emotionally tired, but just like physically tired and also just like spiritually tired. Like I felt like I had a lot of spiritual attacks just this weekend alone. Typically that happen when I'm on the right path, I find that I um, get more temptations, more attacks, and things, and it's always related to, well, not always, but a lot of times it's related to like my relationship. It's related to, I start thinking about like the past a lot, and just I don't know. So it's not very um it's just not very relaxing when you're constantly fighting, like, the weekend you're supposed to be recharging, not fighting all of these spiritual battles. And sometimes I just get drained, especially when, like, if I'm on a rhythm, like, this week I had a whole rhythm. I was streaming every day, I was popping in here, I was reading the Bible, and then the weekend comes along and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, um and I don't know, I get thrown off track of just, life track. And then it's like I just get thrown back into like old patterns or old habits. And it's not that I want that, but it's what happens. And so that's kind of what happened this weekend where, you know, everything was going great and then all of a sudden, you know, an anomaly gets thrown in, and then it's like my whole system gets off whack, and then I don't know, it turns into a whole spiritual battle, and it's like, oh, here we go again, here we go again. Um so that's why I don't know, I think I just kind of, I didn't give up, but I just, more like I gave in. And yeah, I didn't give up. I just kind of gave in and just kind of let my mind wander to places where it doesn't need to be wandering. And um and the consequences of that, just, I don't know, just being drained. Like, I'm supposed to be using this time to, recharge spiritually, and instead I just was stagnant pretty much all weekend. So like I was talking yesterday, I went to the beach. It was all fine, but it really just put like a not a hiccup, but like it just threw me off. It threw me off in more ways than one. And at the end of it all, I was just like, I don't know. Um, I come from a very different past, a very different past and background. And so, sometimes I get triggered by like seeing, not old people, but just people that remind me of another time. And so that's a lot of what happens is, I just get a lot of temptations to just start, I don't know, I wouldn't even see reminiscing, just past life temptations, and then it turns into a whole thing, and then I don't know, I don't feel on my game today. I don't feel I just don't feel right, in more ways than one. So that's why I like to use this time to talk and kind of just reflect on, where I'm at spiritually, mentally, some even physically. And, if we get to a good place while we're talking and there's a trading opportunity, great. If not, then no. Because part of the checklist is you have to be good, spiritually, um, and be aligned. Because here's the thing, right? Yes, last week I was feeling good. Like if I had lost the account last week, I think I would have been fine because, I was aligned with God and my purpose. And so I was fine. But today, if I were to get into the market and lose, I guarantee you I would not be fine. I wouldn't be. So, and that's just being honest. I don't feel very in tune with the creator right now, and therefore I don't feel like I'm in a state where I should be trading, but I still have to show up. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to read the verse of the day today. So it says, Psalm 31, verse 24, ESV. It says, "Be strong and let your heart take courage, all you who wait for the Lord." Be strong. I mean, I don't feel strong. Feel pretty weak a lot of the time. Um, this week, for example, I was strong, but it's like, picture this, right? Someone gives you I don't know, 100 pounds, so some dumbbells or whatever, and they give you 100 pounds, and they say, okay, now, and then they say, now, um, just hold this, right? Well, I can hold it for a day, two, right? I can stay strong, but then it's like, I don't know, I get tired and I drop the ball, and then it's like, well, I don't know. And that's how I feel like this verse, be strong. And for some reason, yeah, be strong. And this one says be strong and take heart. And I don't know, for some reason it's just it sounds simple. I don't get it. I have an iPhone and sometimes the buttons don't work. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Like it's glitchy. I never had these problems with my Samsung where I couldn't navigate a simple screen, and yet I can't navigate a simple screen. I don't know. It's weird. Like I literally just want to go, okay, that worked. I try to swipe down to swipe out of something, and I don't know. I don't know why iPhone has to make things complicated. I can't see my notifications when they're like, on a Samsung or Android, you can see like what apps sent you notifications up at the top. But for some reason, I can't see that. I don't know if it's just the phone. I don't know. But I can't see my notifications at the top. And it's annoying. I don't want to have to swipe down and and see all of, and it's just annoying. I'm not an iPhone fan, and yet I have one. So, um, that I'm looking at. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. I feel like I just I I want to be strong, but it's like maybe I'm just not getting my strength. Like maybe I'm trying to do too much on my own. Maybe I am, I'm trying to log in and stream every day, trying to um there's an entry right there. I'm trying to stream every day. I'm trying to um you know, hold this mental space for trading, which is hard enough on its own. And then I'm over here and I'm trying to, navigate a relationship and all of these other things. And I got a job and just all this stuff going on. And is that a one? Is nope, not yet. Hold up. Okay, so there's your entry right there. And there was actually a good opportunity because it did pop down for a second. So there was actually a good entry. Let's just see. We need four more ticks. Three. Yeah, we're bouncing around. Let's see if we can get the last five. Let's see if we can hit 20. Anyways, so I don't know. It's hard to just try to keep it up and do this on my own. And sometimes two more ticks. And there you go. And there's your TP right there. Boom. So there's one. Okay, so yeah, it's hard to keep it up and to just do this on my I know I'm not doing it on my own, but it's like there's so many things going on, and it's like at the end of the week I feel drained. I just feel drained, and I'll just like sleep. Like I hate sleeping during the day. Like I'm not a napper. One, because I'm like, it's a beautiful day. Why are you sleeping? Sleeping is for nighttime. Get up and enjoy the day. So I don't like sleeping during the day for starters, but also when I take a nap and I'm not sick, I always wake up feeling like garbage. And so that's kind of what will end up happening is I'll just wake up and I'll feel like absolute trash when I do. So I don't know. It's very it's very draining, like during the week. So for example, gonna go to sleep, gonna wake up, we're gonna do this. I ordered another gun because the one that I have it's a little heavy and I like it. I actually love it, but I want something I can carry, conceal carry because I'm gonna get my concealed carry permit. And so I want something that I can that's a lot lighter and smaller caliber. So I I purchased one. I was gonna pick it up today, but then I realized it's Sunday and everybody is gonna be at the gun counter on a Sunday. So I'm like, no, I'd rather go like in a late morning of a Monday or something when everybody else is at work. So that's what I will be doing. Maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. Then I have to deal with a roommate coming in, so I need to reorganize like all of my cabinets and everything, make sure that everything is like good to go for when she moves in. And so there's this whole yeah, there's just a lot of things that I need to deal with within the next, because she's moving in on Wednesday, and so I have what, Monday, Tuesday, crap, dang it. So that's coming up really fast because like it's the 26th and she's moving in on the 29th. So I have literally a couple more days of being by myself, and I like living by myself, but I also need to save money. So there's just a lot of things that are going on in Lizzie world, or potato world. And so don't even, I don't know, it's like I don't get a chance to breathe any day. I wake up and I go, 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 go. I wake up, I take the dog to the park. Well, sometimes I wake up to take the dog out. I go to work. I try to make a nutritious breakfast so that I'm not starving and ordering DoorDash in the middle of the morning. And then I'll typically stop everything and go to the dog park at like 10 a.m. or something, and there's usually meetings, and then there's work, and there's quotas and numbers that I have to meet. And then at the end of all of that, the end of a long work day, then I gotta get ready and go to fitness class. But I gotta make sure the dog's cool. He's gotta go outside, he's gotta eat dinner. Then I go to class, then I come back, then I do my stream, then I go to bed. And repeat until Friday. And then at that point, I just kind of crash. Like I just emotional, it's just kind of crash. And then I guess when you're weak is the easiest time for, you know, for the devil to just strike you or to hit you with temptations and to hit you with just all of this stuff. And there was a lot of that happening just earlier last week, but then there were even instances um where I was just like falling into old patterns of, trying to fix everybody else's problems. And, I have definitely cut out a lot of the toxicity that was in my life because there were a lot of toxic people and just things that I have cut out. But I don't know, it's still hard. Um, but I am grateful. I am grateful for today. Today was nice, so I took Zazio to the park, and we're playing. Well, he comes in, and we're in the little dog part, and there's this guy that has a big, really big, like a Weimaraner, and then a little like a Chihuahua dog, and the Chihuahua dog is like super fast, friendly, playful. And so he brings the dogs over, and Zazio's playing. He's kind of scared of the big Weimaraner, but he's playing with like Pixie, which is the other little dog. And so they're running and playing, and he's wrestling and rolling around on the ground like he's having the time of his life. And then this other guy comes in, and he brings in the 6-month old, kind of like a maybe an Australian Shepherd, and she's like only 6 months old, so she's kind of nervous. But then Zazio's like, here, like, come on, let's play, it's okay. And so after maybe about 5 minutes, this other little dog's like, okay, this is fun. So then they're just wrestling and rolling around, just having the time of their lives. And now Zazio's ripping up mail. I don't know if you can hear papers rattling. He's ripping up an envelope. I don't even know. But yeah, he's just playing, and he's having this the best time, and I'm just standing there talking to the guy, and we're just just talking, just chatting. And I think that's one thing I love since Zazio. She's shredding bills. Pup, are those my taxes? Hold on. Pop. Ah, that's not even good. That's not even good, buddy. You can't rip mommy's taxes, guy. Yeah, that's some tax paperwork. I don't know why it's on the floor. Why? He's he's shredding my bills. He thinks he's helping. Thanks, little buddy. You did good, bud. Now go. Where's your bone? Where's your bone? I don't know. I buy him like expensive like bones. I bought him like a goat hoof, and he would rather shred up papers. Anyways, pup, you can't eat that. Yeah. Pretty sure that's not good. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I just really enjoy going to dog parks. And that's one thing, that when I was living in Idaho, I didn't have that. I didn't have dog parks. I did not. I had there were a couple. There were a couple, but you know very few. Very few. And so that's one thing I really appreciate since moving here is just so many options and things. My fiance's calling, so 2 seconds. All right, so I'm back, and yeah, as you can see, what happened there, we spiked up and then we dropped down. Let's go take a look at what this looks like here. Oh, it's like what? Yeah, so just that, a little spike up, spike down. Looks like we're probably might spike up and down a bunch. I don't know yet. When it's like this, I like to split these two so that I'm not staring at just, I don't want to, and maybe I can set it up so that I can see both screens. So there's your one and there's your two. That would have been very difficult to get in, as you can see. Happened within, this might be one that was, so this one happened at, oh, now you can't see that. That's why I like to, let's focus on this one. So yeah, as you can see, this one happened at 1:39:43. So this was within 4 seconds. This was within 4 seconds. So that one was kind of, it was possible to get in, but highly unlikely. Highly unlikely unless you were hovering over the button or unless you had a limit order placed. Very highly unlikely. Between when that formed, yeah, highly unlikely unless there was a limit order placed. Which placing a limit order is not impossible, just again, like I said, highly unlikely. And then there you have it. We have a red one that just formed straight off the bat. What I've noticed is like there's a lot of ones that happen that'll just be a single one. I mean, when I get in, I mean, I'm not in anything, but yeah. So back to what I was saying, it's just the reason why I haven't traded today and probably won't trade today is simply because I'm not like, I'm not saying I'm in a bad state mentally. Like, honestly, I'm fine, I'm not spiraling, right? But I'm also just not in a good space to be, I don't know. I'm just not in a good space to be risking capital because I know my trading moods and my trading states, and I already know that if I enter the market with a mindset of oh, kind of feeling like what I feel right now, feeling drained, tired, and feeling like distance from God. If I enter the market like that, I'm gonna be shooting myself in the foot, right? Because if I enter the market like that, one, I'm gonna get cocky, and then I'm gonna be like entering too many contracts. I'm going to revenge trade. I'm going to FOMO trade. All of that, all of those bad things. So yeah, I don't want that. And like I said, if God's not in it, I don't want it. And if I don't bring God in it before taking a trade, then there's really no trade to be had. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I just there's no trade to be had. Not for me in the state that I'm in, there's no trade. So, yeah, but we can still watch it though. Because we still have to watch it. We still have to report the numbers. So, that doesn't change, right? It's 8 o'clock and we have two trades so far. So we're just gonna keep going. Just keep going, and then we'll update our charts. I mean, I like updating the charts, so that's fun. Let's see, we got one. That would have been a very difficult one to get in unless you had a limit order. And that should be two. There you go. Very difficult unless there was a limit order. That was within 10 seconds. That was a 10-second window, but still difficult if you didn't have a limit order, and then we just keep going. It's great. It's great. Yeah, that was actually looking good for a buy. Honestly, I'm only seeing longs, and all of them have been good so far. No complaints. You know, I don't know. It's not bad, not bad at all. Bum, bum, bum. I think for me, the hardest thing is when I get tired, when I just get drained energy from just being so busy all week. My go-to to recharge is just detaching, disconnecting, right? Disconnecting from everything, right? Sleeping. I slept. I took a nap today. It was way too long, or watching stupid movies or watching SpongeBob. Um, and it's just like, why? Why? And it's just because I don't know. It helps me detach. I was talking to my sister earlier today, and we were both talking about how we just don't like to mentally invest in watching TV shows. Like, there's a couple shows that I'm watching, my mom's watching, and so we kind of, talk about the shows. And I kind of still am only watching them because she watches them at this point. Because I don't know, like, there's a couple episodes that I need to watch of these shows, and I haven't bothered. I mean, I could have watched them this weekend, but like mentally, I didn't want to invest in in something that I was going to have to think about. Like I just couldn't invest in the time. I couldn't. I didn't want to. And so I just didn't. And I mean, that's just kind of the thing about it is that um when I watch TV, it's to disconnect. I'm not trying to learn a whole plot line and learn a whole story and make sense of all these characters and their drama. I just like to just detach. And so I'll watch just like old shows like Mama's Family. I don't know if you know Mama's Family. I'll watch, it's like an old sitcom from like the 80s or something. Maybe it's the 70s, 80s, I don't know, but it's just an old sitcom, and I watch it because it's just it's not mind numbing, but it's like you don't have to think about it, right? One, I've seen it before, so there's nothing that I don't, it's not like a surprise is around the corner, right? And so I can just enjoy the comedy and just kind of mentally check out. It doesn't require brain power to watch, or I'll watch SpongeBob, I didn't used to watch SpongeBob. Oh, look, there's another one. My ex kind of got me into watching SpongeBob, and now I just watch it because it's kind of like it's nostalgic, right? It's like um, it's just a stupid little show, and it's not deep, It's like, oh, it's good background noise. A lot of times I'll just watch it and just like fall asleep to it because it's just background noise for me. Um, wow, we're just pumping up. Anyways, and then other I used to watch one called, they took it off Netflix. Um, but it was called King Julian. No, it was called, what was it? Was it King Julian? Yeah, it was called All Hail King Julian with like Mort the Lemur and King Julian from Madagascar, those characters. But I don't know, like I watched that entire series because there were several seasons, and I watched the entire thing. It's a kids show, but I watched the entire thing like probably 5 times, um, just because, and it was just something I just listened to in my spare time to fall asleep because it doesn't take any mental brain power to watch. Or I used to watch The Golden Girls, just like all of these things like old shows, kiddie shows, comedies, but none of them require a lick of thought. None of them require any thought. You just watch it. And I tried watching this other show on Netflix, and I watched maybe 4 episodes, and then there was a murder, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, I don't really have the mental capacity to continue watching this to find out who was the murderer, and I didn't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Like I do enough analysis in my job, enough analysis here on the charts. I don't have time to to be analyzing my my TV shows. You know, those are supposed to help you check out, not throw you into a whole nother world that you have to now analyze. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't have the capacity, but that's what I do. It's like when I'm tired, when I'm drained, my go-to is things that don't matter, right? Like watching SpongeBob or um, just mindlessly eating a whole pie, which I did not do this weekend, so that is good. Normally I would go eat like a whole pie, but I did not do that. But it's like that those are things that I do simply because I don't know. I just it helps me detach, but then I have to start the week. And it's like the whole time I was doing this, I knew I had to start the week over. Oh, I knew I had to start over. And I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I was like, eh, I don't know. I don't know. So there you got your red brick printed. Honestly, love to see it. We have about 18 more minutes left in this trading session. 18 minutes, we have 3 trades so far. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if God's just gave me the perfect time window, but it is perfect because I can look at the market for an hour and then I take the dog out and I go to bed. Like there's really, I don't know. That's what my evenings are. Trading, dog, bed. Um, yikes. Clear. But yeah, I definitely want to spend tomorrow, at least tomorrow and tonight, the rest of tonight, and then also tomorrow, just trying to spend a lot of time in prayer and really getting back on track because I definitely feel like uh, I don't know. I'm just tired. Feel tired, feel lost. It's not lost, but I just feel tired and when I feel like this, the slightest thing, like a loss, for example, is gonna set me off. Like I already know that. So that's why I'm looking at these 3 missed beautiful trades and I'm just like, eh, you know, sure, they look good in hindsight, but in the moment I was not ready for that. So I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I was at the store earlier today and bought a um I bought a big case of water, but I didn't bring it in from the car. Also, the car is filled with sand, which is great because I need to have the car cleaned out. I just have a lot of things to do this week, and so I really wanna start the week off right. Um, and I should have been doing that today, but instead I was sleeping. I mean, yes, I did go outside. I saw, um, oh goodness, I did go outside. I did um, go to parks, so it wasn't like I spent the entire time just, um, yeah, I did. It wasn't like I spent the entire time just sulking and sleeping, but I spent too much time sleeping, way too much time. So let's go back to the other chart. Just look at what's happening there. I mean, it doesn't seem like there was a whole lot of movement, right? Came down, boop, had a little consolidation, and we just popped right out of it like it was nothing. So, yeah, I mean, the reason why I like trading on Renko is because everything just is, it's much clearer. You're not trying to guess little candles and wicks and all of these, less information. Um, Sometimes people say more is better, but I say less. Sometimes less is more, right? You don't need 100 different things staring at you with a bunch of flashing lights and all of these screens with all of this information and all of this. Sure, you can, but is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. You know, just trade whatever works for you. Zalzio got into something else. What has he done now? He's ripped apart Zalzio. Crap. Zazio's over here trying to stress test this ring. Huh. It passed the pup bite test. Sparkly. Sorry. Anyways, so yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. Oh yes, about the charts. I feel like less is better. You know, I don't, the more information that I have to look at, the more confusing it gets. Like, it doesn't need to be that complicated. And yes, if trading was easy, why doesn't everybody do it? Because it's not easy, right? I've been doing this for a year and a half, and it's not easy, right? I'm calmly sitting here watching the market play out instead of, you know, entering and being all like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that used to be me. There's your first loss right there. That used to be me, but it's not anymore. Because why? Because I don't know. I've just been doing this for so long that it's just like, sigh, sigh, you know. Um, I don't know. I just I just become calmer. You know, before I used to chase these candles, and I was jumping in constantly and trying to catch tiny little moves and spikes and really tight stops and take profits and max contracts, and I don't know, trying to live the fast life in that sense. And you see some people doing it on YouTube, you know, they're getting in with a bunch of contracts and taking tiny little price moves and just jumping in, jumping out, making big bucks, and it looks flashy and it looks nice, but you know, for me, it's just not sustainable. Not about that life. Not about that life. Um for me, I want trading to work for me, not me to work for trading. The whole point of day trading is so that I can be, you know, free and independent. And if I have to stare at a chart all day, you know, there's just no. I spent the last year and a half staring at charts, and I don't know. I'm just kind of done. I'm just done staring at the charts. I I'm ready to just, because I don't know. I watch a lot of traders, and the good ones, like the ones that do it for a living, and they don't even have like whole channels. They'll actually go on other people's channels and do interviews, but you don't see them, you know, with their own their own YouTube channels that are all flashy and all of that, and they'll be like, I take a couple trades a week, maybe. They're not trading every single day, and I think that's a an undervalued thing, not trading every single day, because it's tempting to, but it's just it's not sustainable when, like how I was just talking about how I feel drained at the end of the week, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over, you feel drained. And that's what I'm saying is like, if you have to go into the market, if I have to go into the market every single day and I have to perform, at my peak every single day, I'm going to get burnt out and I'm going to start making mistakes. And so that's why a big part of, being a matured trader is being able to sit down, look at the market, and recognize, yeah, not really in a good mindset to trade right now, and then not trade. Because there were plenty of times where I was dealing with drama, with people, and just all of this stuff was going on. And then I'd get into the market and I was like, I need a win today. And I'd get it and I'd be like, and then I'd lose. And then it was a whole thing. I remember one day, I lost the whole account. I was up like 5 grand on the account and I let it all go away. And I don't know. Then the rest of my day was just horrible. And I'm just like, ah, but that was just what I I, I did. And I was just kind of, like if I felt like I was losing in life, I'd go to the charts and I'd think, the charts will help me. I think I was using it as like a self-esteem, right? If I won money, I'd feel good about myself, and if I lost, I'd feel like crap. And so I kept going in and losing and feeling like crap, and then I kept losing some more, and it was just a whole downward spiral. And now I could actually look at the market and look at myself and be like, I'm not in a good state to trade right now. And that's okay. You don't have to be on your game 24/7, but you have to be able to recognize if you're not in a good state, then just don't trade. And that's a lot better than, because before I'd look at this and I'd be like, "Oh, why didn't you take that?" Well, I already know why I didn't take that and I don't feel bad about it. Um so yeah, uh looks like there's one more. Nope, almost. I wasn't almost trade. That was like one tick away. And there you go. There's one. That's another entry. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. Let's see if this one will complete before the next 6 minutes. There. Hopefully, in the next 5 minutes, this will materialize into something. Otherwise, I'll have to sit here until it does, yeah, because otherwise I'll have to count it as a non-trade if it doesn't continue to materialize, because it is kind of late. But we'll see, because maybe it does do something, we don't know. I said maybe. I said, come on, there's a couple more. 7 more. 5 more. 6 more. 4. 5. Literally 5 ticks away. So close. And nope, we didn't like that. Yeah, I just wanted to, so that I can end the stream, because I don't see another one happening. And there you go. Boom, there you have it. So that's one. So we have total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, one of them bad. 5 and one of them bad. This one would have been a difficult one to get in because it was a 4-second trade, but it wasn't within 1 second. So yeah. So let's just pull up our stuff and we'll get into, so we're gonna try to end this at 8:30 exactly, because there's not gonna be any more trades that happen within, there better not be, but there shouldn't be. So yeah, let's get into charting mode. Not charting, but like spreadsheets and all of that, journal entry. One, two, three, four, 5. I thought it was 5 or 6, but yeah, 5. We got 5 trades, 4 wins. Ouch. 1 loss between 7:30, 8:30. Yep. Okay. So that's What's, sorry, 800. All right, so I think, so this is doing what it's supposed to. So it's counting what the equity curve should be, right? So for example, it's supposed to be, um, so this is what your total, if everything was correct and every trade was taken as it's supposed to be, even though sounding like, oh, that's not even a trade. Okay. So if every trade was taken like it's supposed to be, um, then this was what your equity should be. So there should be 6,800 in wins and 2,800 in losses, bringing you to a total of $4,000 in profit, right? Over the last 6 days. Gosh. I don't know why I was struggling counting. I almost gave up after like four. Anyways, but yeah, I think, yeah, six. But yeah, 6 days. So that should be $4,000 in profit in 6 days had we taken every single trade with the appropriate, not holding any of them and not changing our contract size or anything. We should have a total of we should be up 4,000, right? And with us 2,800 in losses, total losses. So that's it for the night. Trades 5, wins 4, 80%. Bring our total number of trades for the last week plus a day is 41 trades and 34 wins, which is doable, right? Within an hour time frame every day, it's doable instead of what I had before, which was absolutely ridiculous. Um, so now that we have all that out of the way, there's one more thing that we have to do. Yeah, there's one more thing we have to do. For some reason, I just forgot what that was. 2 seconds. And I actually just remembered what it was. So, remember how last couple of days and even this weekend, I went back and I kind of showed you how the numbers don't add up. So, I'm going to actually show you that. Um, yeah, I'm going to actually show you that. So, because the last day, so yeah, the last day that we didn't was Friday, and Friday everything was right. So on Friday, which was technically Thursday. So on Thursday there were 3 trades. So we're going to actually see if that's still the case looking back, right? Cuz that's the problem with Renko, is that when you look back, the everything gets all um everything gets all messed up, and it's not accurate. So let's look back to Thursday and see what happened. Okay. So let's go back to Thursday. Same time frame. This was Thursday night. There should have been 3 trades. Let's see what happened on Thursday night. Almost there. Okay, here we go. So this is about the time. There should be 3. Should be. So let's go. Starting here. There's 1, 2, and 3. So there's still 3. I'm gonna come back and check it again tomorrow and probably the next day, because that number is gonna change. Because let's go back to Wednesday. There should have been 7, and there were not 7. So let's go back. Yeah, so here's Wednesday. Perfect. Let's go find the. There should be 7 trades. Let's see how many we count. So starting at 7:30, which was here, should be 7 trades. There's 1 at 8:11. Yeah, there's 1 trade. And so that's what I'm thinking might happen within the next couple of days. It's like as time, so I think after 2 days it stops calculating um correctly, and it starts doing its weird little thing. So that's why I think that by tomorrow it should not be saying that there's 3. But we'll see. And you can always tell because at the bottom it'll have the seconds, and when it starts consolidating the data, it won't tell the seconds anymore. So this is where Thursday is. And so it still has the seconds. It says 21 seconds, 12, 46, 19. So it has the seconds currently. But I think when the seconds go away, this will start to go away as well. So we'll check it again on Monday. But that's why we have to do it real time, because trying to do it trying to do it like that, like looking back in hindsight, does not work. Like it absolutely does not work. So, yep, real time. These are our real time numbers. And I'll probably update. What did I do? Oh, go away. So, yeah, I will probably update week 2 at the end of the week. So, but yeah, that's all we have for today. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, gonna be praying, reading the Bible, just trying to get back into God's word. to just to feel more aligned. But yeah, even with all the stuff that I have going on this week, still gonna be um I'm still gonna be showing up here, even if it's even if I'm, haphazardly coming in and I'm not even prepared to trade. It's okay because I'd rather just show up, you know? And also, even when I'm not trading, what I like is that when I can see what's happening real time, it gives me confidence in the strategy. It really does because, when I can look back and say, oh, look, there were three trades and they were both 100%, 400%, 13, 84, 7, 85, 5, 80%. When I can look at the percentages and I can see the numbers and see that it works in real time, I don't have to take every single trade. Um, and I'd rather I'd rather not, like I said, I don't want to have to trade every single day, because like I showed you here this weekend, right? I only traded 2 days last week, just two. You don't have to trade every single day. I missed this day, and that day. Three. And so, but that's okay. That's okay. So, and even though I didn't trade those days, I was still here, still live streaming, still going. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I have for tonight. Um, yeah, we're about an hour in. We're over an hour in. Okay.